Okay, so really, we're finding out right now that it's best for me to record at night, being in this office. Why? Because it's so bright, even through that screen back there. It makes me look weird. But we're gonna get this done today. This is the officially unofficial Geek channel. This is the weekly comic review. Yes, it is Sunday, and yes, I think this is probably what works out best for us as a channel to just focus on doing the weekly comic review on the weekends. So if you've been missing the Spoilertastic comic review, guys, it's back. Mm. Gotta love ice cold water. It is a really nice, bright, sunny day in Indianapolis because we got that going on. Ooh, okay. Hmm. I am so happy to be here. I have, I'm still fighting the cold, still fighting it a little bit. It's not nearly as bad as it's been. It's this residue thing going on in my respiratory system, and it's not fun, but I'm dealing with it now for y'all. Um, this is the weekly comic review. We're gonna kind of keep with the same format though with the books that we've been doing, where we go through all the books and then we have the top three. I like that format, and I think nobody's been complaining about it, so maybe you guys like it too. Um, or maybe you just like reviews and you don't give a crap how they're done, just as long as you find out what people like me think of the books that I read this week. And guys, we've got how many we got to talk about today? I didn't have any of my Marvel books read today, so you can expect those next week. That's going to be Scarlet Witch, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Rogue and Gambit. So expect those on the review next week. Sorry, didn't have them this week. Didn't have them to review. Not the shop spot, my fault. I didn't budget for it. I didn't budget correctly for it. And so we have to wait until the end of next week. Sorry. But, anyways, if you're new to the spoiler-tastic format, because I haven't been doing that the last few weeks, basically, all's fair in love and war with the spoiler-tastic format. Spoiler-tastic format basically is what it says on the label. It's what it says on the wrapper, guys. I talk about anything and everything having to do with these comics. I don't hold back, and it's fun. Guys, this is really designed for people that have read their comics and just want to hear what other people think of them, or if you don't mind spoilers. So put your mittens on your kittens and away we go, guys. Let's do this. So if you have not read your comics this week, turn off my video and come back when you finish reading your comics, particularly some Dark Horse and DC comics for this week, guys. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. That's how this is going down. Something on my desk. All right, I got it. I got it. Yeah. There's a rough edge to my desk, and just like, what's going on here? Okay. You hear me sniffling? That's that residue cold type situation going on. And let's do this. All right. Um some things. Now, you know what? I'm going to wait until I fully develop the things before I talk to you guys about them. So, stay tuned for announcements in the next week or so with Officially Unofficial Geek. I'm going to try and see if tilting it a certain way helps. Um, I know that I am wearing a Halloween shirt on Easter. Let's just address that right away. Um, I did not plan this. I just grabbed the shirt because it was clean and I put it on. All right? All right. Cool. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the comics, guys. This first book that I'm talking about is Batman 134. I got the cover A. Chip Zdarsky, Hawthorne, Di Benedetto, Mori, and also that second story that's got Zdarsky, Mendoka, and Stevens. If I mispronounce anybody's names, I am sorry, but I just want to get that out as easily as possible. But you know what we got on this cover? We got a Jorge Jimenez cover. And if I'm reading correctly and I'm understanding correctly, Jorge Jimenez will be back on the interior art with the next issue. I have hair all over the place. Yeah, this is, yeah, wow. So here's the thing. We've got the Batman of Gotham story still going on in the main story here. Um, yeah, I'm gonna pause this for a second. Hold on. Sorry about that. Had an itch I had to scratch and didn't want to do it on camera. Yeah, didn't want to. No. So we have the like I was saying, we have the Batman of Gotham storyline still going on. We've got the Tim Drake storyline still going on. Um, but let's talk about the Batman of Gotham storyline where Batman is in a parallel universe that did not have a Batman. If you recall, he was sent to the parallel universe as a result of um, his fight with Failsafe. Failsafe kind of zapped him back there, or to that parallel universe, not back anywhere. He went to a different universe, and he has been kind of like Batman on it's Batman on a budget, maybe. I kind of like how he's just kind of like one of the things I do like about what's going on here is how Bruce Wayne has kind of pulled together and I think I've mentioned this before, a Batman costume out of like regular things here and there, like definitely using like shin guards for from like a catcher's uniform for baseball. Definitely using shin guards. Definitely got like a bicycle helmet and was using that um and put like little bat ears on. It's funny. It's funny, guys. You know, he like got the helmet and he's like, no, this doesn't feel right. I can't just wear the helmet. I'm gonna like, you know, he super glued some fucking like cones on the top for like bat ears. You know that's what happened. You know that's what happened. Um, so he has to keep. One of the things I love about this is that the allure of any Selena Kyle in any universe has Batman having to sit there and remind himself that Selena is not his Selena and to be weary of her. It just kind of goes to show exactly like how deep this relationship goes for them. That he has to keep on reminding himself that Selena Kyle is not his Selena in that world. So, um, he has reached a point where Selena, in that world, has led him to Red Mask, which is this, you know, it's kind of the mixture of like Black Mask and the Joker, which is interesting because the whole, you know, like the Joker used to be the Red Hood kind of thing, like way back. Like, there's one of the versions of the Joker where he is the Red Hood before he becomes the Joker. And I think that's kind of cool, where it's like the Red Mask is like a mixture of like Black Mask and the Joker, because this character is the Joker in that world, but isn't, but yet is. And you find out exactly how deep that goes because um, the Joker. Okay, so Red Mask in this universe has done some multiversal travel and it knows exactly who the Joker is and understands that that's them in another universe and now wants to become them in that universe. So they're doing what they can to kind of get on the same level as the Joker in the Prime Gotham universe. So they decide that they're going to release this um, harmful slash poisonous gas into the world, into Gotham, and so Batman right away like contacts Jewel, who is basically kind of his Robin, makeshift Robin in that universe, to be like, okay, so here's the deal. Shit's going down, and I need you to go help people. See if Selina will help you. And because he's kind of planted that before he goes directly to face Red Mask, he kind of plants that seed with this universe's Selina, and he's just like, you know what? When I go, you don't have to do anything I tell you, but what I need you to know is you need to go help people because you're good at it. You can help people. And he kind of plants that seed with her. And then he is just like, no, 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 she's not my Selina. She's not my Selina. When he runs off. But then later on, you find that Selina does start helping the people, and other people get her help, and it's really great. um, One of the things that I have been loving about Batman actually is that second story in Batman that's been the Robin Tim Drake story, um, where it's basically Tim Drake is trying to travel different universes trying to find Batman. And he's got the help of Mr. Miracle and the Toy Box Man, the Toy Man. And they are off trying. He has designed and redesigned his suit that he uses to jump to other places with a big R. And when he enters into the machine to do all that, he his first stop, like inadvertently, is someplace where his mother is. Now, his mother has been dead for some time. So he visits with his mother, and she asks, "What is the big R mean?" And he's just like, "Well, when I find Batman in whatever state he's in, whatever is happening, I want him to know without a doubt that Robin has come for him." That is just like, think of all the times that Batman has given hope to people. Batman has come to find the Robin. Batman has come to do anything. Bruce Wayne, taking up, these children that needed a home, taking up, Dick Grayson, becoming a father figure to Tim, Jason, all those, people. And now Tim is like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure that he knows no matter what state he's in, no matter what's going on, Robin has come for him. The thing is, I can tell you something. The Robin Tim Drake story, to me, every month, I'm not, man, this is not a Batman hate thing. I do not mind. I still enjoy the Batman story. However, I gotta tell you, the Robin story, that's the second story, always ends up eclipsing the Batman story no matter what, just because of that faith that Robin has and he uses to find Batman. It always eclipses um the main story, and I say to people like that talk to me about it, um I think that it should be reversed. I think that the Batman of Gotham should be the secondary story, and the Tim Drake trying to find Batman should have center stage. But nobody asked me what I think except for you guys by being here. So that's what I think. I've talked way too long about Batman. So let's move on to Worlds Collide Act 1, Icon versus Hardware number 2. Um First issue of this, let's see here. Let's run down the creative team here. Reginald Hudlin, Leon Chills, Dennis Cowan, Yasmin Flores Montanez, John Floyd, and Chris Sotomayor. Whew, that's a list. So we've got um the continuation of the Icon versus Hardware story, and there's this multi-universal time travel kind of situation here with this story as well. Um, there are elements about it that are completely interesting and completely great. Hardware is basically kind of like testing the limits of what he can do and how he can change things. Icon is sitting there like, guy, you can't do that shit. It's gonna mess stuff up, and it already kind of is. You have different things happening, and he's just kind of sitting there, and it seems like Hardware is just testing, if I do this, what will it do? If I do this, what will it do to this world? If I do that, what will it do to this world? And it's basically he's using time and things he can do, time and the past and the future and all that. He's using time and his ability to move between universes and time periods as it's like an experiment. Like, if I do this, what happens? And Icon has a problem with that. Yeah. Um, so one thing, it's really interesting because it just goes to show, if you're reading this, the kind of no holds barred kind of possibilities that exist with Worlds Collide, especially connecting it to DC in any way. Because at the end of this book, you basically have Hardware getting to the point where it's like he seems like I'm not going, if this failed, then screw it. If I fail at this, screw this. I'm just going to go to where it all began and try to stop the slave trade. And which he and the main universe runs into. All of a sudden, Vandal Savage has shown up. Yeah. Spoiler alert. See, you signed up. Spoilertastic reviews, guys. Vandal Savage is showing up in the Milestone universe. Right at the end of this book, y'all. Right at the end of this book, Vandal Savage. Not much else to say except for Icon doesn't like that Hardware is using time and space and everything like that. Like he's like the world is his guinea pig. And it's one of those things where it's like you can understand where Hardware is coming from. He wants to try to fix things. It's very much like, want to put the wrong things right kind of thing. But the problem is you're it, it's kind of it's kind of missing the mark each time. And that's a problem. When it misses the mark, it screws shit up. Yeah. Um and that's what Icon has a problem with. So next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Where Monsters Lie number 3, perfectly fine book, liking it enough. And there's another issue coming up. It's going to be the end of the series. We got Kyle Starks, Piotr Kowalski, Vladimir Pupov, and Joshua Reed on this book. So basically, what you've got going on here is you've got a HOA, basically, um, neighborhood of serial killers and monsters all living together in this neighborhood, in this little cul-de-sac. And one of them went rogue and brought his work home with him. And now this is basically, we've reached the point with issue 3 where we're continuing the police action, raiding this neighborhood. And it is insanity, everything that's happening. It's hilarious at times. It's like if you don't it's like don't take things too seriously while reading this book, because literally they're like there's a fucking like marionette puppet that has it's sentient and very Chucky, okay? Um Except Chucky's a doll, this is a marionette. But anyways, very Chucky. Um and very Chucky and Tiffany. Um, in fact, this version of Tiffany is blonde as well. Yeah. Um, Inhuman. Well, yeah. There's time period where Tiffany's. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Tiffany, the doll in Chucky. I'm talking about Tiffany, the human, that also tried to take over Jennifer Tilly's life in the show. Spoiler alert. Um, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. If you know, you know, and if you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. But there's like this moment where the cop was like to the like looking at another cop like to the like about the investigator. The investigator just like punts the doll, the sentient marionette dummy, and shoots it. And like, did he just kick a kid? Um, it's a lot funnier when you're reading it. Maybe right now it's not so funny, but you gotta be reading it in context, and it's hilarious. I assure you. I assure you that is the case. I assure you. Um, but I am enjoying this book. It's just fun. It's just funny and fun, and it's like hilarious look at it's the idea of you're watching when you're watching Adam's Family and Wednesday Adams is asked what she dressed up for Halloween, and she looks normal. She looks like she does every day. And she says that she's a homicide and maniac. They look just like everyone else. I'm all of a sudden like really thirsty. It's weird. Okay, guys. So the next one we're going to talk about, gosh, it was really hard doing my top 3 this week. Um, but let's talk about one that almost made the top 3. We're going to talk about Adventures of Superman John Kent #2. Where we last left John Kent was about ready to start helping universes with Val and the Red Tornado version of Lois Lane from another universe, both from another universe. Val is a Superman from another universe, and Red Tornado / Lois from another universe. We're gonna go with John. John Kent was gonna go with them to find Ultraman, to stop Ultraman from killing Superman one by one in different universes. That's the concept we've got going on here. And in this book, in number 2, is when they went ahead and left. Creative team on this, Tom Taylor, Clay Henry, and Belair. I'm really liking this. We got this cover. This cover is kind of a good one. This is Clayton Henry on the art, not Clay Henry, Clayton Henry. Marcelo Maiola. I really hope I did that right. Maiola on this art. I like the idea of the Ultraman being in the background, in the foreground. You have John Kent right there in front, and yeah, I like that. So to read any of the previews and everything like that for this series, you were going to think that Ultraman was going to have a bigger presence in this entire, I believe it's supposed to be 6-issue miniseries. We're in issue 2, and when they go to leave, they leave with the paradox machine, because they're gonna, not paradox. Is it a paradox machine? No, excuse me. Excuse me, what am I thinking of? The hell am I thinking of? Phantom Zone machine. Yes. If you're sitting there at home or wherever you're watching this saying, Carrie, it's the Phantom Zone. OUG, it's the Phantom Zone. Thank you. Thank you. The Phantom Zone machine, they were leaving with it to go and zoom Ultraman to the Phantom Zone. However, they do meet up with Ultraman in another universe where they find him, and he is right away wreaking havoc and sends Val and a very busted up Red Tornado Lois to the Phantom Zone. Anyone could have told you that just, willy-nilly bringing the Phantom Zone thing, it's not even willy-nilly. Like, what were they gonna fucking do? What were they truly going to stop Ultraman with? Just sit there and fight him and hope that he gives up? Like, all right, guys, I've had enough. I'm tired. Can I go home? No, it wasn't going to happen that way. So it wasn't like it was something that could have been controlled, but another thing that's been kind of teased with this whole situation. We knew that this was going to be a showdown, final showdown between Ultraman and John Kent, like says it on the packaging, says it on the cover. And yes, they fight. Ultraman does. If you know anything about the history of John Kent and Ultraman, you know that this is a big deal for John to face him like this. And it's not looking great for John Kent. And the thing is there's a whole other being in DC history that we know of that has been teased with this entire series that was sent at one time to the Phantom Zone. That would be who shows up at the end. And that would be the Superman of Injustice. Now, Injustice is another series that Tom Taylor wrote. And Injustice is, let's see if I can nutshell this. Injustice is a situation where the Joker basically makes the ill-fated decision to trick Superman into thinking pregnant Lois Lane is Doomsday. using a hyper version of Scarecrow's fear toxin. Groovy. That sucks so bad, right? So when all that is said and done, this particular Superman, when he kills Lois because he's been tricked to by the Joker, he goes absolutely bonkers, right? So bad, so sucks. Um, no, the storyline isn't really all that bad. Storyline's kind of interesting, but it sucks that Lois Lane got killed. That's what I'm saying. That's essentially what I'm saying. A pregnant Lois Lane. Um, so um, when it's all said and done, that particular Superman ends up being sent to the Phantom Zone because even once he realizes the error of what he was doing, he had done so much and done such horrible things. They sent him to the Phantom Zone. So now, granted, this is also based off most of the stuff that I've researched and the really horrible animated movie. I hated it, but anyways, um, I kind of saw this coming with them taking the tool to access the Phantom Zone, with them, and the fact that Injustice was teased, um, because when it's not looking good for John Kent, one person shows up and just completely kills completely Ultraman, and that is the Injustice Superman, and it is absolutely heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Not for Ultraman, he's a dick, but it's absolutely heartbreaking. Um, because Superman's reaction to John is that he has his mother's eyes. And then you remember who he is, and you remember all that, and you're just like, ouch. I'm not sure. Here's the thing. Like, I really thought we were going to get more with this whole Ultraman thing. The pacing might be a little bit quicker than I was hoping for. Um, the art is great. The pacing might have been a little bit quicker than what I was hoping for. I really didn't see the whole Ultraman thing happening in less than one issue. I was kind of hoping that it would get at least a little bit strung out to, like, if there were plenty of, because the thing is like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so are we really trying to, because sometimes with these miniseries books, like everything is starting out as a miniseries, and then some of them are getting extended. And this kind of started with Swamp Thing, and Swamp Thing gets extended twice. Okay. Did it get extended twice or just once? Okay, at least just once. Swamp Thing gets extended. And Rom V Swamp Thing gets extended because it was only supposed to be so many issues. And then you get Poison Ivy extended, and it was because it was only supposed to be 6 issues, and it got extended indefinitely because it really fucking could. We're gonna talk about an issue in a moment. Um, with the idea that this is only 6 issues, and typically when you're telling a story in 6 issues, you stick with one thing and you kind of see that through. And it kind of seems like what they're doing here so far is we were originally like, I feel like it should have just been John chasing Ultraman through different universes and not including the whole injustice thing. Um, that might be a criticism I have for this. I would have liked to have seen. It's a good book. I enjoyed reading it. Do not get me wrong here. However, it would have been interesting to see a more epic kind of cat and mouse chase between John and Ultraman. This is just my thought. And producing a readership and producing interest in this book to get it to be extended, ongoing, and then visiting the injustice thing at the end. Once you know that it's ongoing, once you get the green light, then jump into this. It feels like, unless the whole Ultraman thing was a red herring, and this is really supposed to be John Kent dealing with Injustice Superman, maybe that's the case. We'll see. Other than that, not a bad book. Not hating it, but you know. Next book I'm going to talk about is Batman and Joker, the Deadly Duo. This is book 6, and guys, this is almost a top 3 contender as well. It's been one of my favorite books consistently. I just decided I wanted to talk about some other stuff as my top books rather than this. But don't get it twisted. This was pretty damn fucking good. This, of course, is Mark Silvestri and Arif Prianto. So we've been in this situation where we have thought that one character was our antagonist, and now we're being put in a position where it's like, oh, no, not quite. This person is your antagonist. And you find out in this that the daughter is back from the dead, and she is the one that is wreaking havoc and wanting revenge. And she does this whole weird crypt wedding scene. And they find out that when it comes right down to it, the Joker, to get something that he wants, which happens to be a key, um, has been in on it. So the Joker, in what should have been a showdown if the Joker hadn't been involved in it, which would have been a showdown to the end of this book and probably would have been the end of the series. Actually, we get one more book for this. And we find out what the deal Joker had with the daughter and what that deal is, because I'm sure Harley Quinn would be very interested to find out. She is not, she's kind of perturbed. She's like, you know what, this better be good. And I'm gonna work with you on this. But this better be good if this woman has, kidnapped me and threatened my death, blah, 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 you know? So the end of the book ended with a fight between Batman and Joker starting. And we've got one more book on that one. Not a lot to say on this one except for the fact that it is some of the best artistry that you see in a comic book, hands down. Um, It's just really beautiful. Really beautiful. Speaking of really beautiful, let's talk. I mentioned it earlier. Let's talk about Poison Ivy number 11, continuing the storyline of their little excursion, weekend trip, spa like trip for the Glop person, which is obviously a send up of Goop and Gwyneth Paltrow and all that jazz. And basically, where we last left Poison Ivy and Janet from HR, the fungi had taken over, had been used by this woman to affect everyone's mood to the point where you had a massive woman orgy. Welcome to comics nowadays, y'all. Not always for children. um, okay, creative team on this: G. Willow Wilson, Takara, and Priento. With the cover here that I got the cover A because I loved it. Jessica Fawn, absolutely gorgeous. So, um, something happens in this book that I wonder if G. Willow Wilson is a fan of the old like early 90s movie Love Potion number 9, because there's this moment where, okay, so have you ever seen Love Potion number 9? There's this, what happens is they have this love potion that they got from um a uh um a fortune teller woman, right? And they are these scientists, so they're trying to test the effects. And something that happens is it's like this one woman that like is kind of a con woman. She gets a hold of the um undiluted version, and she takes a big old gulp of it, and she speaks, and all of a sudden she starts getting chased by everyone. And if she speaks, people are affected when they hear her voice, right? So she starts getting chased by all these people, and she gets the idea that they're all being affected and all doing what she wants them to do because of the potion, because of her voice. So you have a moment in Poison Ivy where basically anything that she's got this group of women with her in front of her, and she gets the idea that anything she tells them to do, because they're being affected by the fungi that involved with her, um they do everything she wants them to do. Hands down, they do everything she wants them to do because they're being affected by the fungi. And she's apparently master of well, I mean, she is connected to the green, and she's connected to the fungi. So basically she's just like, let's go do some fun, stuff to help the environment. So they go and they try to stop a tanker from going and processing oil, and they get run over. But the thing is like the green and everything saves them, just kind of flattens them into the earth and plants them, and then they just come out of the earth. Oh my god, it's so good. And the leader of the resort, of the whole thing, when it comes right down to it, when she figures out what's going on, she starts getting all uppity, and Ivy's like, no, you need to, cool your britches here, and I'm gonna look all crazy and monster like. That is some of the best goddamn thing I saw all fucking week in a book, was when you have this gradual like monster coming out of Ivy. And you've seen it before and other issues. And then just when the woman is just like, oh my God, I'm so stressed and blah blah blah, and she just breaks down in front of Ivy, and then how it just kind of slowly comes back in. It's just like this beautiful like crescendo of her crescendo of savagery and anger, just crescendos until she's this massive like green beast, right? And then when the woman is like breaking down and really having an emotional moment, and she's just kind of like decrescendoing back into just Pamela, and hugs her, and she's like, it's just this beautiful like idea about how Mother Nature and nature can be nourishing and beautiful. It can be at first it can be savage and destructive, and go find a fucking, something to hide under, because it's gonna blow, right? But then nature is also kind and beautiful and like calming. And this whole idea of like poison ivy is like the embodiment of the green, is like one of the embodiments of the, she's not an embodiment of the green, that's Swamp Thing, but she is a practitioner in the green. And it's very Wicca, it's very pagan druid, okay, to have that connection to nature and having that kind of effect on being able to be like crescendo decrescendo. The way that that's handled in the book makes this definitely one of the top 3. I don't know if I mentioned that. We are in the top 3. Um, Unfortunately, this beautiful moment is cut short by the fact that this woman is all of a sudden being taken over by the fungi and mutating, and it ain't looking good. Nice little, um, you know, moment there where it's just like you have this nice little wonderful nurturing moment. And you have these nurturing moments throughout the book where, she's kind of explaining, there's this moment where like she's kind of explaining human nature and how the chemicals allow people to, be nicer to each other and that kind of thing. When Janet from HR is asking her about that, I really love that moment. It's a beautiful quotable moment. I won't get into it because the video is getting kind of long, but I really enjoyed that moment. It was actually very beautiful. Um, the next book I'm going to talk to you guys about is another Dark Horse book, and I am a sucker. I'm a cat person, and I am a sucker for a cat book. So here we have Hairball, from Dark Horse Comics, Hairball #1 by Matt Kent, Tyler Jenkins, and Hilary Jenkins. This is gorgeous, and the art throughout it, completely gorgeous as well. One, the cat on the inside, it looks like kind of grayish here, but it's a black cat. Now, what's really funny is this tugs at my heartstrings right away, this cover, because it looks kind of grayish, like the cat is gray. And it totally looks like My River Ravioli. I have a Russian blue cat, and this totally looks like, his name is River. His name is River Ravioli, and it totally looks like him. But the cat on the inside totally looks like my other cat, Kaylee Spaghetti. because the cat is a black cat. So the premise of this story is it has cute cats in it. Okay, but besides that, so this girl is adopted. She's older and she was in the foster system and she was adopted by a couple. And the same day that the adoption goes through and she goes home with them, a stray cat shows up on their doorstep and the parents let her keep the cat. And it's this little black cat. Well, the little black cat, there's more to the little black cat. The little black cat, um, legit bites her arm at one point while she's sleeping, and two little, like, worm thingies come out of the bites. Like they were in the little girl. Okay? And they jump down and they go underneath her bed and they just stay there. The cat is named Bestie. And let's put a pin in Bestie for a moment. Hairball is about Bestie, but when it comes right down to it, Hairball is about and it has a story that's about abuse and you know verbal, some physical abuse. The father in this situation and the mother, they are constantly fighting. The father is a big old dick, um, to put it mildly. And he never wanted a child. She wanted the child. And now that the child has medical issues and has needs therapy, and there's like different moments and breaks in the story where you show the kid in therapy and she is dealing with the fact that the father doesn't like her or her cat very much. Um, and she's not sure that she likes either one of the parents. And the cat starts doing things that are deviant and like tries to knock a radio in the mother's bathtub that's plugged in. You know, it does not take a scientist to know what would happen if that fell into the tub, but it didn't. Um, and then the cat starts leaving like hairballs, like coughing up hairballs. Like, if you're a cat owner, you know this business, okay? Um, so the hairballs start showing up different places, but the hairballs like are growing and mutating, and it's weird. Like weird. Um, Possibly alien like maybe. Who knows? Um, but these people treat the little girl badly, and the two little worms that were in her arm like come up to her in the middle of the night and say, "We'll never leave you." Um, this is creepy book, but I like it. So then the cat, it looks like the cat kills the father at the end of the book. And the father's a real dick too. And yeah, either the cat is just completely demonic, or the cat is an alien, or the cat is just protecting the little girl. Kind of like a whole like your ultimate protector kind of thing. And the cat sees that happening, you know, the way the household is, and the cat just wants to protect the little girl. That's possible. But I'll definitely be ordering that final order cutoff for number 2. I need to see what happens next. This is for real, y'all. And I'm a sucker for a cat book Though I am kind of afraid that the cat's going to end up getting killed. And I'm one of those people that, like, even if the cat is evil, I don't want the cat killed. That's just me. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, so got the last book here to talk about. And I'm bringing it up. I'm specifically putting it in my top 3, not just because I love it, because not a lot of people I'm seeing are talking about it. And sometimes I like to do that. Sometimes I like to give a spotlight to something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. Something that I've really been enjoying is the writing of Matthew Rosenberg. And if you know what was out last week, this past week, you know pretty much probably what I'm talking about. And that is, and I've got this awesome cover that I totally spent an extra dollar on. A Lee variant cover by Lee Bermejo. I'm guessing on that name. I don't typically. The only time I really like this guy's cover art is when he's doing like a Joker cover, okay? Because I don't know, for me, it does not work with anyone besides anyone like the Joker. And this is the Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 7 by Matthew Rosenberg, Katie, Di Gianmanico, Robson, and Fajaro Jr. and Hi-Fi. I am very, very into this book. I've been very into this series. This is number 7. It's been a lot of fun. There are multiple Jokers. But it's not like the fucking 3 Jokers kind of thing, right? There's either I think that there's definitely 1, there's definitely 2, there might be 3 Jokers. Sure. All right. So in that, it's like the 3 Jokers. However, this is very much a book that even in book number 7, we're not completely sure who's what and who's where. We know that one of the Jokers got shot by Jason Todd. Now Jason Todd is going to Blackgate. That happened in this book. We got that little update about what's going on with Jason. So there we go. We know what's going on with Jason. He's headed to Blackgate. But we are joining one of the Jokers, which I'm pretty sure is the Joker Prime, meaning like the real Joker, please stand up, and this one will stand up. And he is still trying to get out of Los Angeles, where he decided before he, and this was in a previous issue, before he was leaving, he was going to cause all kinds of havoc because he's the Joker. Okay? And I have to tell you, the Joker, A Man Who Stopped Laughing, makes you sit there and laugh at the Joker. And it's like you feel bad for it. You're not supposed to be laughing at the Joker. He's a fucking. Can we laugh at the Joker? Can we laugh at the Joker? Any. Okay, I'm gonna accept this so we can laugh at the Joker if he's fucking funny. Okay, because there's moments in this book series where the Joker is fucking funny. And there's moments where you know who's not the Joker and who is. But then it all gets turned on its head. Um, I'm pretty sure, I am pretty sure the Joker in LA is the real Joker. I am pretty sure of this. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But you know what's gonna, when the time comes to end this series, what I'm gonna absolutely love about it is if you're still not fucking sure. I don't want to be sure at all. Ever. I mean, okay, so part of me wants to be sure at some point, which Joker is the real Joker. Will the real Joker please stand up? Sure. There's a part of me, though, that wants this to remain. Are we ever really sure who the real Joker is in this book? I don't mind that idea. I really don't. I don't mind the idea of Matthew Rosenberg just stringing us along where we never know who the real Joker is. Because that's interesting. Don't string us along forever on this. I don't know how many issues this is planned to be. This is issue 7. I don't know if this is an ongoing or a miniseries. Somebody, if you know, let me know in the comments. It could be ending next month, and I don't freaking know. Okay. Um, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the hijinks. The hijinks where it's just like you sit there and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm finding the Joker funny. Is it okay to find the Joker funny? Like, is that okay? I'm gonna go with it though, because I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I love the banter in between the Joker and his gang members in LA. It's fun. I love the interaction between probably fake Joker and Solomon Grundy in the sewers of Gotham. I love that. Um I love I like the concept of the new superhero that's in LA that's been kind of not being a superhero. And they just were like, "Oh god, I got to do something," because everything starts blowing up and everything's happening. I like that character. I would like to see more information about her. I think their name is called Manhunter. Um, yeah, but it's a great book. I'm having fun, and even the second story, in this book is pretty good. I love the retro feel of it, the retro feel of the artwork, the retro feel of the absurdity and campiness of the stories, and I like how it is clearly it is clearly tying in um, to the main story. Not directly, not like this is happening and this is happening in the actual story. No, it's really kind of cool that it is clearly, I'm pretty goddamn sure, giving us clues in that second story to the main tale. And I love the campiness, and I've just the retro campiness feel of the story. I've really been loving it. Um and I really just like, for like a couple of these that didn't end up in the top 3 this week, they really could have been in the top 3. But the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, also is one that could be in the top 3. And I put it there, and I made sure that it was there for this reason, because I'm not seeing a lot of people talking about it, and I want to be one of those people that talks about it. In particular, for the reason that it's just fun. It's just a fun read. And it's weird, and you're just sitting there like, okay, this is a little bit of a mystery, and I like it. So that's me. And that's it for this week. My comic reviews are done for this week. I hope you guys don't mind that I went back to the Spoilertastic weekend format on the comic review. It feels good. It feels good. It feels like coming home, and it's just kind of how it works out best with my scheduling. You can expect the comic review to either end up on Saturday evening or Sunday during the day. Either way. But yeah. Yeah. Feels good. Feels like coming home. And but that we've reached the end of our comics for this week, guys. So let me tell you something. I am trying to put some stuff together. Um and I'm trying to see just a little bit. I want to see if I can pull shit together to go to a huge con next year. And I got kind of an idea of how I'm going to budget that between now and February, beginning of February, if that tells you anything about the con that I want to go to. Um, that it could really be something that could work out, barring any major catastrophe. But um, I just want to let you guys know that if you like what I'm doing, please, and you want to contribute to the cause of me getting to go to a really cool con in a year, um, please feel free to check out my Buy Me a Coffee. And I think I'm toying around with the idea of a Patreon. I know I don't have a lot of followers, but I figure maybe somebody might like my musings about, you know, pop culture and comics. Um, and I've got a couple ideas on what I'm going to be doing with that. But I would love to hear your ideas. Um, if you were in a position, um, to pay me $3 a month to get at least one extra piece of, of, entertainment, of discourse, or whatever a week, one extra thing, $3 a month. I'm not looking to do much with tiers, at least starting out, if I do it at all. What's something that you might like to see me, do on Patreon within reason? Um, if really you would just be like, read a book and talk to us about it, I mean, believe me, I can do that. I can do that all week. Or maybe I can do a comparison video on different things, a reaction video. What is something you guys would like to see possibly from a Patreon from me? Something that would entice you to come in and say, yes, Carrie Quinn, the officially unofficial geek, is worth $3 of my hard earned money per month. Um, Let me know. And I'll see what I can do about that if I decide to go that route. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of that? And also, what do you think of the comics that I read this month, or this week, excuse me? Um, what are your thoughts about them? Do you think that The Joke or The Man Who Stopped Laughing is an underrated comic like I do? Let me know. And until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. And I'll be seeing you guys until next time. Bye.